Ashley, I'm sorry. I connected to the recording and then immediately left to go to the bathroom because not to use the bathroom for normal bathroom purposes, to use the bathroom to preen a little bit. In our last recording, Ashley, I don't know if you noticed it, but I have this place in my mustache here where the hairs are shorter and I have a very expressive face. And all I could watch in the episode when I watched our last episode back is my mustache being a little Muppet down here pretending to do its own.
It was just show.
It was so annoying. God, the whole time I was like, why didn't you do something with that thing? I don't know. I guess I'm just going to have to wait for it to grow longer. I cut it incorrectly, I suppose. I don't know. But anyway, it was a real problem for me in the last recording. So I'm hoping for better. I went immediately I was like, get a little mustache oil and preen it a little bit and see.
Fix your fucking face.
Fix my fucking face indeed, friend. The Articulate Coven is the original, unofficial fan podcast and community for Anne Rice's Interview with a Vampire, The Vampire Chronicles, The Lives of the Mayfair Witches, and The Immortal Universe from AMC and AMC+. Hello, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
All right, welcome to The Articulate Coven. We are your hosts. I'm Joel.
I didn't even realize you started it. I'm Ashley.
And we are The Articulate Coven.
Oh my God. It's been going for a minute and a half. Jesus.
Okay, first of all, tonight's episode is going to be about Sinners. We're talking about the 2025 film Sinners from Michael B. Jordan, Ryan Coogler, the director of this one. Very cool movie. Short answer is we both liked it a lot. If you haven't seen it, you should go see it. But we've got some preamble here on other topics to get to before we get to Sinners, so I wanted to set the table on that. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who suggested this movie. We sort of made a joke of it last week that like the people demanded it, but genuinely it was a response. A lot of people went to see Nosferatu as well, and a lot of people have asked, when are you going to do a Nosferatu episode? People didn't beg us to. Lots of people begged us to do an episode on Sinners and to do it right away.
Yeah, to do it sooner rather than later. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm really glad though. Like, it was a great movie. I really enjoyed it, and I wouldn't have gone to see it. And I say that I might, by the as the buzz continues to build, I probably would have tried to go see it in the movie theater this week or next week. Maybe. We don't generally do movies in the movie theater, and we haven't really talked about that or thought about it in the past. And I meant to say this last week, but I didn't actually get it out. One of the reasons is because it's difficult to take notes. I don't know about you, Ashley, but I don't do pen and paper. And I'm not going to have my little pen light to make notes in the movie theater, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not taking notes in a movie theater.
So I did take literally a few. I wrote down like 3 things in the movie theater with my phone screen turned down. And I felt fine about that. I was at a 12:05 showing. There were 6 people in the movie theater, counting me and my wife. And she knew I was going to take a couple of notes, possibly.
We had a matinee too.
It's the way to go when you're our age, genuinely. Like, especially if you, like me, if you work a job that is like, you work when you want to work. I mean, like, I work all the time, but also I can just go do things.
In the middle of the day.
I did a gardening project for like 2 days in a row last week where I was like rearranging our backyard, and I just did like, that was like part of it was a Sunday, I think, but part of it was a Monday, and everybody else was at work, and I was just doing yard things.
Sometimes you can get more shit done that way.
Yeah, but that also means often it's 8:30 at night on a weeknight and I'm still doing work. But regardless, my point here was we went to the movies at 12:05. There were a handful of people there, but like genuinely I don't know about you, but on Tuesdays we get like a bargain price. Every movie is like $5 or something.
Us too. Okay, it was like, I think our tickets were like $4. We went on a Tuesday afternoon too. It's kind of weird, but I happened to take a half day that day because we were doing that young storytellers thing that I talked about on an episode once before. So we were doing that and we finished that up, and then we were like, we're going to go see Sinners. And yeah, I got so excited. We like, number one, there was we thought we were going to have to wait like 20 minutes for it to start. We thought there was like a 3:15, but there was a 2:55 that had just started. And we were like, hell yeah. And then she was like, that's going to be like 8:50. And I was like, the fuck it is? I was so excited. I had no idea. She's like, yeah, Tuesday's discount day.
Tuesday's discounts for everybody day where we are to our local theater here, and you get a discount on a bunch of the concessions too. Like we got, I mean, it was still a lot for what we got, but it was much less than I expected to pay. And we both got, you know, like I got popcorn and an icy, and my wife got, I think she got nachos and almond candy and a soda or something. Anyway, we
Really
got
good
the things we
choices.
like. We set ourselves up to best enjoy this movie. And I will say, Kelly it didn't hit for Kelly. And I do
Really?
think really didn't. She was like, I mean, it was fine. And she liked a lot of she said everybody was really good in it.
Yeah.
And she really enjoyed the music. She did really enjoy the music, but she was like, I don't get why this is any different than and I'm trying to think if she made a direct comparison, but like one of the things we talked about is that like the basic storyline has a lot in common with the From Dusk Till Dawn, for instance, right? Like there's this story and then there's another supernatural story that happens and they happen to coincide. Yeah, for me it had layers upon layers upon layers, and I cannot wait to talk to you about it in depth.
Oh, yeah.
But if you are out there and you're like, because this was the conversation I had with Kelly. She was like, I don't know. I feel like I'm dumb because you were so ecstatic about it right now. I'm like, no, baby. Hey.
We all get different shit from things.
Art is subjective, friend. Like, and every piece of art is not for everyone. It does not speak to everyone. And the other thing, and we've discussed this before, every piece of art does not speak to everyone at every time in their life, right? Like, so you may revisit a thing that at once was great and it turns out is just fine, and then you may revisit a thing that was just fine but is actually a masterpiece. You just weren't ready for it at that moment. Anyway, so you're not dumb if you didn't like this.
No,
but I do think we are not the only ones that did. And if you're out there and you're not the only one that did. This is a very popular movie.
Yeah,
I think we're probably going to get sequels or spinoffs or whatever, and we're going to talk about all of that tonight too. So
yeah.
We'll get there in just a second. First, though, I want to say this. Ashley, since we recorded last, it was your birthday.
It was. Thanks, guys. I got a lot of birthday love from the Coven. Thanks, y'all.
I was so pleased that I beat everyone else that morning posting about your birthday. I was up very early that morning for a client, so I cheated.
So I always go through like my birthday wishes and always like send a thank you back to everyone that wished me a happy birthday. And I'm going through them, and I finally hit yours today. So it's because you were one of the very first people. I was like, "There's Joel." That was so funny. Yeah.
Was it a good birthday?
It was just fine and dandy. You know, I had an improv show that night, so we had a fun time, and then we ate some cake after and had some drinks. It was a very good time. And then, you know, like I think I did a half day the next day, kind of did a lazy half day, and then got caught up on Andor, which you guys, fucking Andor is so good.
So just yesterday, I had been catching up on a bunch of things. Kelly and we finished Severance. Now we're playing catch up on Paradise. We're getting close to the finish of the first season of Paradise, which is really enjoyable. I finally got caught up on Invincible, which on Amazon Prime. The last season of Invincible is so good, y'all.
Excellent.
I don't know why I waited so long on it, honestly. But anyway, I finally got caught up on that, which meant that I could get to Andor. But I got to tell you, it's been so long now since season 1 came out.
Yeah, it has been a hot minute.
I started to just watch, like even Disney put out like a 15-minute or 20-minute video that'll basically catch you up. Yeah. And there are lots of YouTube videos that it's like, you know, like 10, 12 episodes in 15 minutes or whatever. But I remember being so moved by it. And I do remember it connecting to that moment in time and how we were all feeling at the time. And I just keep thinking, boy, you've been talking about doing that rewatch of Man in the High Castle, for instance, right? And so Andor seems of a piece with that kind of thing. Why
I
not just go
mean,
back and watch it? So I did. And I'm into the 4th episode now of season 1. I'm eating them pretty fast, honestly, because I want to get to season 2. But yeah, that is like, to me, very much like Interview with the Vampire, and it's why some things are different, I think, than anything can be good, right? Any piece of film or media or TV or art can be good, but some art is special and feels like it speaks to a moment, and can sometimes art can affect the masses, sometimes art can just affect other artists, right? But either way is very special. Like there's the isn't there an album by like the Velvet Underground or something that they say like 30,000 people bought, but all 30,000 of them started a band or something like that? Interview with the Vampire, I believe, is one of those important pieces of media. It's one of the reasons why Ashley and I have not only covered it, but we've covered it twice. We'll probably cover it again before season 3 shows up, honestly. Like, if we're looking ahead,
give it a
like, we'll go back,
thrice.
we'll
A
at least
thrice
go
over.
back we'll at
Give it a
least go back to season 2, right? Like
Yeah.
maybe we don't do a full episode by episode of season 1 again, but we will revisit season 2, I'm certain. And the reason is because there is much there in the text. Andor is that sort of piece of content, is what
Oh,
I'm trying to
yeah.
tell you. It is
It
not
is.
just a good Star Wars show.
No, and I think too that like Rogue One spoke to me on such a fucking cellular level. I loved it so much. I immediately was just struck by how different it was from every other bit of Star Wars we had been given. And that's one of the things that's so fantastic about Andor, is that it that world that they created in that part of the world we got to peek into in Rogue One is completely fleshed out in Andor, and it's wild to get to see like the normal people existing in this world and the people that are pushing and fighting against the Empire. It's fucking badass, y'all. I cannot recommend it enough. The first 3 episodes of this season were mind blowing.
So it's interesting, their release schedule on this too. It's like they're
Yeah, they're doing
straddling the
it in
line between
threes.
the weekly and the binge. They're giving you a weekly binge of 3. I think there's another project that they're trying to get out ahead of too. So there is like some crass commercialism reasons why they would do that. But also, I'm guessing season 2 is like season 1 in that there were effectively 3 episode story arcs all season long, right?
Yeah.
Like there were the first 3 episodes told one story, and
Yeah,
the
that's
second 3
definitely.
episodes told one story. There's a prison arc that everybody talks about,
Oh.
but the whole season is that way, and I'm guessing season 3 is that way too.
Yeah, they're definitely very connected. They're definitely very, very connected.
One other point, and I've sort of grazed this topic a little bit already, but first of all, if you listen to us primarily on Spotify and you comment there, my apologies. I do not get by very often to react or respond to those comments. I do check them though. And here's an example of perfectly why. I'm not going to give the person's username because I'm not trying to pick on them. And I hope you do continue to listen, even if you dislike what I'm about to say or what I said to you already in the comments.
This is exciting. I can't wait to hear.
I saw a comment this week, and I think this was in response to the Dracula's Daughter episode. But what they were responding to specifically, and I'm just going to summarize it. It basically said, "What happened? Why is this show? I thought this was a show about the works of Anne Rice and the adaptations thereof and spooky movies generally. Why is everything about politics now? Well, maybe you should start a show where you just talk about that." And first of all, I think that was even in reply to someone else that had said, "Thank you for acknowledging the situation that's going on and for speaking up a little bit, et cetera, et cetera." But like, I replied to that too. And I'm like, if you don't know what has changed in the last, let's say, 6 months to make us speak more about the political climate in our country, I really don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Lots of things have changed. Lots of things have changed.
For example, today alone, Louisiana rolled back civil rights legislation to like pre-Jim Crow era shit. So like that's what we're talking about.
So what technically happened is the DOJ, the Federal Department of Justice, they ended this oversight and stricture they had on the state of Louisiana about desegregation.
Right.
We had infractions even into the 80s and the 90s that were being held against them. And so they were being overseen and being like, hey, no, seriously, you can't segregate your schools. And Louisiana was like, well, but maybe we can a little bit. And they were like, no, not even a little bit, please. Like, okay, fine, we'll just stand here and watch then. And so there were these extra hoops that they had to jump through. And that had been going on for like 20 years now or 25 years now. Yeah, they just ended that. Well, yeah. Guess what? That came up in the early 2000s or the late 90s, whenever it got implemented. I can't remember, honestly. See, Lincoln Parish, even where I live, was specifically addressed. They had their own thing with the DOJ. That's gone now. Anyway, my point is, because the DOJ let off those reins, Louisiana's going to do some terrible things now again. And a lot of like actual school children are going to be harmed on a like day-to-day and year-to-year basis. And like, that's a bummer, man. That's a bummer. There are all sorts of things that are out of the norm and that are unconstitutional that are happening. And yes, this isn't a politics show. And yes, indeed, I did actually start a podcast to talk about those issues alone. So like go and check that out. Always listening on the places where you get podcasts. But we're going to mention it here too, because we know a lot of you don't watch the news at all. You don't interact on social media because it's not fun there. Okay, good. But you do need to be reminded that you got to go vote. You do need to be reminded that you got to call your senator, or your representative, or et cetera, because our community specifically is being targeted. There's a large segment of our audience that is LGBTQIA or plus, right? So like, anyway, that's us. They're coming for us already.
I would never want anyone to be waiting to hear me speak up and be disappointed that I haven't done it.
Yeah, man.
So that's it for me. I don't want my friends to be upset that I haven't spoken up for them, for us, for, like I can't be one of those silent people. And we're very apologetic when we get on our rants, but look, listen, like that's part of us too. Like that's part of who we are as people. I was working on political campaigns before I could vote. Like I have always been political.
I mean, we've got a soapbox about yay high. Like there's this many of you that hang out in our little clubhouse, and we're so thankful for every single one of you. But that is a platform, and that is an area. We do have a little bit of a voice. We do have a little bit of an audience, and our country is under attack from within. And right. So like, sorry that we bring it up sometimes, but not sorry. And genuinely, like there's so many things that we could talk about every week that we don't talk about because they don't directly affect us or our audience probably. And we're not experts in them. Like we don't talk very much about the ongoing Middle Eastern genocide in Palestine, for instance, right? Like neither one of us are Palestinian. Very little of our audience is in the Middle East. We don't exactly know what's going on. It's not our area of expertise. We don't bring it up very often. We wish it would stop.
Immediately. Yesterday.
I mean, I don't know. If you guys want us to find more topics along those lines, I guess we could. But like, I don't think that's what you're asking for, Mr. Man.
We'll put a poll in the Patreon, and you can weigh in on what political minefield you want us to dive into next.
Here's what I said though. Finally, and this was like my broader point. If you're listening to us and you're like rolling your eyes, oh, here they go again. Just think about this though for a minute. If you're here and you think to yourself, as this person had said, this show used to be amazing. Okay. If it was, that's only because you think we're funny or you like our opinions on these topics, right? Okay. whichever one of those it is, if you like our sense of humor or you genuinely enjoy our thoughts and opinions on these works, then consider that we may have something that you should listen to with our opinions and thoughts on these political things that you clearly disagree with. I'm just saying, we are whole people, and our political opinions inform our literary opinions and vice versa.
And definitely the art we consume and you know, just in general.
So if you love this art that we're consuming as well, and you even like a lot of the things that we say about it, like, why is that? And is maybe maybe some of the ideas that you are dismissing of us from other directions, is that because of some like guardrails that you've got because of a culture war that you're part of, right? Like, hey man, anyway, at any point it's fine to say that you're not okay with this anymore, and it's gone too far. So like,
we encourage that self-reflection.
Join the club. All right, enough of that shit.
Okay,
because we're going to talk about some more politics, because this movie is so fucking political.
No shit. Like, that's another thing. I'm like, well, we're about to talk about this movie that is just fucking deep.
First of all, can we just appreciate how brown and black and yellow and red this movie is? Good God, it is so beautifully cast. First of all, it's just a gorgeous cast from top to bottom, but also I was just struck again and again and again with the multicultural nature of this
incredible diversity. I love to go see a black movie. You know, like, I love to see it. I love to see that kind of representation where it's just, I love it. It makes me really fucking happy. And this is such a talented crew. Everybody's so damn good in this movie. Like, everybody's so good. So Michael B. Jordan plays twins. You could literally sit back and close your eyes and you could tell which twin was which. Like, that's how distinct and different these characters were, despite the fact that they're, number one, identical twins, and number two, the same damn man playing both of them.
Okay, so I was listening to, and normally I would not do this before we talked, but because we did this and we watched it in the movie theater and I didn't get to take all the notes.
Right.
One of the things that I did was I listened to the Weekly Planet podcast, which is a pop culture show that I love. They talk a lot about like superhero stuff and genre stuff, but they covered Sinners in one of their most recent episodes. And they commented on, and they said it was just a rumor. Neither one of them knew that it was confirmed. But apparently the rumor is that this movie was originally supposed to be Michael B. Jordan and God, what is his name? Kang the Conqueror from
shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
What is his name? Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
So obviously, and when I say obviously, maybe you don't know this, Jonathan Majors was set to be a huge fucking star, had a starring role in Lovecraft Country, which was a pretty big hit on HBO.
It was great. It was so good.
And of a piece in some ways with this film that we're talking about tonight,
absolutely.
Right? But
absolutely.
Then he was Kang the Conqueror in the MCU and was played that in a few movies, in the Loki TV series with Tom Hiddleston. He did Creed 3. He was the bad guy in the third Creed movie. He made a movie that came out this year or 2 years ago now, I guess, actually. Wow, has it been that long? Magazine Dreams, where he was like a bodybuilder.
Oh, wow.
Physical assault allegations. He beat his girlfriend, apparently, it seems, and he was exonerated of some of those charges, but it was like multiple incidences, and then not just the incidences, but the way he responded and some of the things that he said in response. It's like, hey, maybe all of the particulars of what was alleged at you in the first place are not true, but like, you're not dude I want to fuck with, actually, very much. And basically all of Hollywood said that at once, pretty much, including apparently Ryan Coogler.
Yeah, I was not aware that was supposed to be that way, this film. But
maybe not, but you could see it, right?
You could give me a double-decker serving of Michael B. Jordan 8 days a week, and I would have no complaints. I'm just saying.
Well, and like you said, he's not playing the same person. The twins, Smoke and Stack, are genuinely different. Their mannerisms are different. Their physicality is different. Their wardrobe is different, yes, but the way they carry themselves and the way they speak, just as you said, you could close your eyes and you could know which twin is the one making the action anyway, or a blind viewer, for instance. Do you call them blind viewers of a movie? I never thought about that before. What are you
patrons?
A blind patron of a film? I don't know. Please give the answer to that. I genuinely do not mean that. I just realized my own ignorance in that moment.
No, I think that I have the same ignorance. I was like, blind viewers, that didn't sound wrong until you said it. And then I was like,
okay, she doesn't listen to this podcast, so I'm going to tell this story real quick since I said that, because I'm going to make this, look at me using my great sense of humor here in this moment.
We're taking
my baby sister, who I love to death. She has a friend who had dyslexia. I mean, she still has dyslexia probably, but she had dyslexia growing up. And when it was time for them to take their driver's license test, her friend comes home from the driver's exam and was telling my sister that, hey, I got to take the test out loud. They read me the questions and I got to respond verbally instead of doing it on paper. And they were like, wow, I'm so impressed that they did that. That's great that they have that accommodation. And then my sister's quiet for a second. And then she goes, I mean, I guess they would have to do the reading thing for all of the blind people, right? And the whole room was quiet for a few seconds. And my sister's friend with dyslexia says, what day do the blind people drive on? They take secret routes. We don't go on those roads.
That's funny.
All right. Back to this movie. Let's talk about Ryan Coogler for a second. So we mentioned already this insane, I say insane. It's not truthfully insane. The industry is responding to it as if it was insane. He gets $1 piece of the gross on this film. He got paid well to begin with, but he gets $1 piece of the gross. And the big thing is 25 years from now, 2050, he owns this movie outright.
Which is awesome.
Really, really cool precedent, I think.
Yeah. And this guy, I love his work. Like, let me tell you that those Creed movies were right up my fucking alley. I'm a huge boxing fan, and those movies hit real well for me. And then, of course, fucking Black Panther, my God. I'm such a fan of his work.
I still have not seen Fruitvale Station. I know what the subject matter is, and I don't know, man. Like, American History X is a beautifully made and affecting film. I'm never going to revisit it.
It's not a rewatch. Not a rewatcher.
I'll get to Fruitvale Station at some point. I got to get my big boy pants on. Decide I want to go there one day. I just hadn't gotten there yet.
It has to be intentional, Joel, is what it has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. The costumes in this movie are so gorgeous and perfect in every way. Like, the production in this film is so great. I definitely feel like I have driven through this very small town in Mississippi. Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, most of this film was shot in Louisiana. I was excited to see. I was not surprised to see that. Yeah, but it is set in 1932 Mississippi. Small town, South Mississippi, in the Delta. One of the original versions of the new Blade movie was going to have a 1920s setting with Mahershala Ali. Ruthie Carter, so she was the costume designer for this film. She confirmed in an interview recently that she moved over to this project after the Blade reboot. That version of it anyway was scrapped. There were a lot of similarities apparently between this one and that one. I don't think that Coogler took any direct inspiration from that necessarily, although she might have gotten to reuse some of her costume designs or something, right?
Absolutely.
What happened?
Utah.
What happened?
Utah.
Hey, everybody. My namesake daughter made the softball team.
So exciting. Hell yes.
My other daughter, my other twin daughter, she just got into the talented and gifted art program.
Fucking
so
right.
It's winners all around over here. Hey, congratulations,
go girls.
Kiddo. I love you.
Hell yes. Way to go, girls.
All right. Y'all behave and don't bang on my door anymore. Okay. God, what is this episode even about? I'm glad now that we don't have many notes, Ashley. This won't have to be 4 hours long.
Exactly.
All right, we're done talking about Jonathan Majors. Let's go back, though, for a second and talk about Michael. Oh, we talked about Ryan Coogler for a second. That's where we got off.
Did.
Anyway, it seems like he was set to adapt this film that was also a period piece. It was about like vampire hunting family, and they cured the monsters instead of killing them or something. And this movie has basically nothing in common with that.
Right.
So it's not like he ripped any ideas off. While we mentioned the costume similarity with Blade, perhaps, or that version of Blade, like that's also like this is one of those spontaneous creation. Hey, several people at the same time had, hey, let's do a vampire period piece,
Yeah. I wished very much that I did not know that there were vampires involved in this at all until I got into it. I understand that they probably, like, that was probably something with the studio that they were like, no, we got to be upfront about what this movie is going to be.
Well, but also you and I wouldn't have seen it or reviewed it if we didn't know that it was right.
100% true. We would
like
not
we would have watched
it
eventually because somebody would have told us it was good, but
I did. But I did. I was like, man, because I also picked up on that, like, from dusk till dawn kind of vibe where it's like, like, this is definitely, the vampires are just kind of incidental here.
And I mean, we do get the one scene early where we see the vampire for the first time when we see the Choctaw hunters. Like that's pretty early in the film.
Yeah.
But even then,
can we discuss Choctaw vampire hunters? I wish I'd watch a whole movie about them.
Okay. There's lots of articles about this all over the internet, but when I say that this movie needs a spinoff or a sequel or something, that's what I'm really fucking talking about, man.
My God.
Okay, the prequel to this movie, like there's the great moment. One of the many things that makes The Thing, but from John Carpenter from the 70s.
God, I love
the reason why that's such an amazing movie. One of the reasons why it's such an amazing movie is the opening, right? It's like the dog just wanders up and you're like, where did the dog come from? And what happened before? And there's the other team that's flying in the helicopter shooting
at us about this dog.
They're screaming and they're shooting at the dog, right? And you're like, what is going on in that movie? Now, in that case, they did make that movie. And while it's a much lesser film than the John Carpenter Thing, it's still not a bad horror movie because that's such a good premise to start with. You can work backwards and do all sorts of cool things. This Choctaw Hunter thing is that I want to see where this vampire comes from and why how the Choctaw Hunters had found him.
How long they've been chasing him. Yeah, I need to know more about that story for damn sure. Because I was like, I got to the end of it and I was like, well, damn, we didn't get those Choctaws back. I was very disappointed, but it was, such a brilliant idea. I love it.
Well, and I think Ryan I'm almost certain that he had final cut on the film. I think that was part of his big contract that everybody's talking about. So like, I don't think there is a director's cut to come. I don't think there's another scene where they came back in some way, but it's just like, what a world is hinted at. And by the way, I think all of those actors are genuine Mississippi members of the Choctaw tribe.
They are. I saw an article about it.
They had a bunch of them as like cultural consultants on the film.
Yeah.
The costuming is period accurate, et cetera, et cetera. So like badass all around on that front. And it's such a cool moment in the movie when they come, but also like the self-preservation that they have is again like one of those things. It's like they don't fuck with him.
I hope you didn't do that. That'd be a very bad idea. And actually, the sun's going down, so we're outie.
Best of luck, friend. You know,
really
you
hope
don't
you
write,
didn't let
you
him
don't
in your
call.
house.
Yeah, man. Anyway, what a great, and again, that's an example of how this movie has all sorts of little things that could be explored further. And I mean, maybe that's just his like, the Weekly Planet boys talked about like why the post-credit scenes, and is it just because he's done the MCU stuff and he's like, oh, people will like that. Maybe it's just a teaser to make people sit around and make sure you pay attention to who made this thing for you, you know. I don't know. But I love this style of world building. We've talked about it in Anne's books and in the adaptations. One of the things that we like about the interview show versus the Mayfair show is that they do hint at things off screen and behind the scenes, and that we'll get to eventually, probably.
Yeah. Or even if we don't get there,
consistent.
There's a sweet little Easter egg for fans to enjoy, you know? Like, even if we don't get there, you got a little of it.
Okay, Remick is the vampire's name, by the way. And I want to talk about him for a second because I did not know this guy. Jack O'Connell is the actor. He was in Eden Lake. He's in the Netflix Wild West miniseries Godless. He got a Critics' Choice Television Award for that, actually.
Watched Godless.
I have not seen that yet, but it's on my list. He was in the Amy Winehouse biographical film, too.
Well, little Jack gets around. There's a creepy singing vampire in this.
He's so good in this, though. Like, y'all, we talk about all the time in the Anne Rice discussions, you know, sympathetic evil or charismatic evil. Remick is no doubt about it evil. We get that for certain by the end of this thing, right? There's no doubt about it. And yet his arguments are compelling.
What he's pitching is not that bad.
Y'all, okay. I want to start right there because this movie is about a lot of things. For instance, I think overall, this movie is really about, like, mostly about the music industry. Right?
My brother who my brother was like, I think Sinners might be my new favorite musical.
Okay, it's not a musical, but there is so much music, and the music is so integral to it, because genuinely this movie is about like so many things. But the character of Remick specifically says at one point, I want your stories, I want your songs. And he's offering a lot in return for them, honestly, right? Like, it's not a bad situation for these people that come over to his side. And yet it is cultural capitulation, cultural co-option. Yeah, cultural. Like, he's going to steal your shit and use it to aggrandize himself, and he'll give you some shiny shoes to wear while he does it, you know?
Yeah, it's making a deal with the devil.
Boy, I mean, it is just so, that particular metaphor in this, I feel like, is so direct and so threatening. But more broadly, it's about colonization of all kinds, right? Like, okay, so the Klan, the literal Klan, is in this movie too, right? So they're actively trying to kill these people of color and to run them out of their area, who have dared to come into a little money, one way or another.
Along the way too. It's not even just about like that we're gonna fucking ruin you along the way. Like, not just, we don't want you just out. We want you dead. We want your shit. We want your money. We want your business. Go fuck yourselves.
Yes. Okay. But Remick even brings up the colonization of his own childhood and mortal life, right? The people who stole the land of my father forced those words upon us. I hated the men, but I always found the words comforting. He says of the Lord's Prayer. And he is obviously in the film, he is portraying an Irish character, it seems like.
Yeah,
But if you're
absolutely.
talking about when the Christians came to Ireland, that's an old motherfucker there that we're dealing with, Ashley, which
Right.
that's a long time ago, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I love though the depths of his character that are hinted at.
Yeah, I do too.
And we're seeing the colonization of these young would-be upstart black entrepreneurs, and also we're hinting at this colonization of culture in the music industry that is playing out in like a supernatural way in this film, but is like, it's basically what happened to the blue. I mean, again, it's literally Elvis
I
Presley,
mean, yeah,
y'all,
it's
right? Like
like, yeah,
Elvis sang
100%.
black songs in a black way and moved his ass like black performers, but he was white, so it sold more.
And we've been doing it for centuries.
Yeah, I mean, literally, that's
Stealing
what
from
this
black
movie is
folks and
telling
passing
us.
the shit off as our own. That is so tacky, but so real. Well, I
Yeah,
think it's like
yeah.
I love the acknowledgement, like the acknowledgement of how split and how divided this place is at this time. Um, and that there's no, like, we're not trying to sugarcoat it at all. Like, they basically have their own section of town where there's businesses that are black owned or that are Chinese owned. And by the way, I love the Chinese shop owner couple. They're the best. She in particular was fantastic. Yeah, so you've got all of this crazy ass division, and to have him walk, to have them, the three of them, when he turns the couple, to have the three of them bring themselves to this place of where black people are fucking thriving and having a good time. Like, the audacity of it to start with is just mind-blowing and entitled and crazy. And then they've got their stupid little instruments and they're singing in harmony, and you're like, what the fuck is happening and why? Why did all of a sudden you guys know the same song? Where did that ukulele come from?
You'd like to meet to talk over
Everything.
Okay, we have talked about the colonization.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is that the devil and the white man did not want you to hear our discussion of this movie, and they tried to shut us down.
They did. My God. It's a conspiracy. Or
Can't be stopped.
Shitty internet. But we will not be fucking stopped.
Mostly shitty internet, I think.
Shitty
Internet and bad storm going on here. Okay, I want to jump into the story a little bit and talk about the way this thing plays out. And I want to start with your friend and mine, Dave Maldonado, Louisiana native and fellow Blue Jacketeer once upon a time. Dave plays Hogwood right at the very top of this thing. He's the guy that sells in the building and then tries to bring his clan buddies back.
Oh, I've never been so happy to watch someone fucking die.
It's the resolution of that hint of a storyline is so unnecessary to the film, right?
It was very necessary to me. I needed it. I wanted it. I was so fucking glad that they went there. I was like, oh, he's got some business to take care of? Oh, I know what that business is, and I'm real ready for it. I take the Klan real personally. Like, I take that shit so personally, because as a Southerner, like, fuck you, man. Like, fuck you. Like, you make us all look so fucking unhinged and racist and awful and bleh. And how dare you be loud enough that you think that you get to speak for the rest of us? And y'all, they're still the fuck around. Like, don't fool yourself. Like, there are sundown towns in Arkansas. Like, it is real shit. Harrison, Arkansas, I'm looking at you, assholes.
I will say this: if you want a great a racist small character in your film, Dave is a bit of a go-to from time to
Oh,
time. He's
my
so good in this
goodness.
role, though. He's in all sorts of things. You've seen him in a bunch of stuff. He was Kutcha in Deepwater Horizon. He was Dodd in the Tomorrow War. He's been in like Caddo Lake recently. He's been on a bunch of TV shows like Will Trent. I was scrolling through earlier and looking. I remember because I watched it at the time when it came out. He was in the Purge TV series. He was also in the From Dusk Till Dawn TV series.
There's a Purge TV series?
Yeah, I think it's just one season maybe, but yes, there is absolutely a season or two of TV about the Purge. But like he was in the Free State of Jones. He's been in just all sorts of stuff. Long time.
Good fucking
he's
career,
been around.
Bud. Like that's fucking great. Good job.
Like the perfect example of making it work. So I knew he had a role in this movie because I had seen pictures of him at the premiere with Michael B. Jordan. But when the movie starts and I literally like slapped Kelly. I was like, it's my dude. It's my dude.
I had totally forgotten that you mentioned that he's in this a couple weeks ago. And that makes me so fucking pumped. Like, okay, so you and I are within eyelashes of degrees of separation from this film because I have personally met Buddy Guy.
Oh, really? Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When he comes on the screen at the very end, Buddy Guy, if you didn't notice, or you haven't seen the film and you're just listening to us talk about it for some reason, first of all,
we're talking real out of fucking order too, because we're just excited now.
You're going to the end now, but Buddy Guy plays old Sammy. I mean, I guess you wouldn't want to do it somewhere earlier in the film because then it gives away the fact that Sammy makes it to the end,
Yeah, no,
but
I loved it.
When he first comes on screen and he's not actually moving, but you're hearing his music. And I went, this sounds like Buddy Guy. And then I went, that looks like Buddy Guy. Did they just say this movie's about Buddy Guy? Is that what they said? I mean, cool, but like, it was strange.
He is the nicest man. So we used to work, we used to have this really great music festival here in Little Rock called Riverfest. And it was like, it would happen right on the Arkansas River. It was a really fun weekend. It was usually like some old 80s folks. And then, and like maybe some like older country acts or some like, it's not anybody on their best day, like it's, but we worked on the third stage, which was like the blues stage. So it was local acts during the day. And then at night, generally, it was like either an old, like a classic rock band or like blues folks. Like I met Keb Mo there. Like I saw Keb Mo play. Wow. Yeah. Buddy Guy, we drank wine with him backstage. He was so cool. He was so fucking cool. And then we got to, of course, like watch him play an incredible set. And he's a fucking legend, y'all. I knew he was in the movie, and then I'd forgotten that he was in the movie completely until he showed up at the end. And I was like, hell yes. 1 degree of separation.
It's again sort of like the resolution of the Klan storyline. We don't need to see Sammy in the future, so to speak. We don't need to see Sammy as an old man, but it is so cathartic and fulfilling. It's like, actually, man, where's the 3-hour cut of this movie where we get more scenes of like, I don't want him to cut any of that out actually. No. And it's going to be the kind of thing when we revisit this that I think we like all the more, even, that scene with Sammy. It didn't go at all the way that I thought it was going to go, but let's come back to that in a minute. I want to go back and kind of talk through this thing from top to bottom. So first of all, just a few more flowers. We gave it a little bit already, but Michael B. Jordan's like split personalities for Stack and Smoke. Genuinely, I mean, I knew he was a good actor.
Yeah.
I had thus far put him in the category, though, of a Jack Nicholson, as in Michael B. Jordan has a thing, and that thing is super applicable. It can be right, like Jack Nicholson can be Jack Nicholson in a lot of different places.
Yeah,
and it's totally right.
He was in a werewolf movie and was completely believable.
But he's still Jack Nicholson in Wolf, right? and he's Jack Nicholson.
Jack
And he's Jack Nicholson in About Schmidt, and he's Jack Nicholson in The Last Detail, and he's Jack Nicholson in, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and he's Jack Nicholson in The Shining. That, like, he's got one speed. And then you've got like I don't know, like a Daniel Day-Lewis who transforms from movie to movie, right? Or even
Gary
Willem
Oldman.
Dafoe. Yeah, Gary Oldman is a better example, I think, even than Willem Dafoe. But like we talked about Willem Dafoe's facial transformation, but I think he's got a lot of different speeds as far as his delivery and his personalities that he can embody. So far, I had Michael B. Jordan in that I do one thing, I do it really well. I can do it seriously, I can do it funny, I can do it over the top, I can do it understated, but I do this one thing. This movie makes it clear to me that he's more than that. He is not, so far, I would not say like a transformational actor necessarily. Who is the guy that I'm thinking about from the 70s? The not Pacino, Hoffman, Dustin Hoffman is who I was thinking about, I guess. Like I feel like Dustin Hoffman is not just always Dustin Hoffman. Like, anyway.
Yeah.
Pacino has ended up being just always Pacino all the time, but he wasn't that way early in his career.
No, I think that happens to everyone. I mean, like De Niro's just De Niro and everything. If even like meet the Parents, he's still just fucking De Niro.
You say that De Niro literally this year is doing I started to pre-order it and watch it early because it's available right now to like buy on digital. It's the Knights of something, but he's in a movie right now where he plays two characters. He plays both sides of the thing. He plays the two main characters or whatever. It's like it's a mobster movie. It's like a 1950s mob movie.
Oh, De Niro's in a mob movie? What?
I know, it's so surprising and out of character. Anyway, just genuinely, if you have slow rolled the genius that is Michael B. Jordan so far for yourself, Sinners is one of those times where I think it's going to really open it up for you and be like, oh, this is what everybody else gets about him. Where do you stand on I heard someone else say earlier, they were talking about like his attractiveness. Michael B. Jordan, one of the, inarguably most beautiful people on the planet. And this person was like, I don't think they're that beautiful. I think he is like fairly fucking stunning.
Fairly fucking stunning should be the name of this episode. He is fairly fucking stunning. And charismatic as all hell. Like that guy, you just want to watch him do whatever he's doing. He just oozes charisma. And that's these characters, there's a lot of grief in some of our main characters, and it's really interesting how it turns into anger and resentment. Like this is I do think that I thought that was something interesting, that there were like everybody kind of has their burden that they're carrying with them, and it's not really something that they talk about heavily, but it's enough that it's mentioned. It's an important part of what makes them who they are.
So Miles Caton is our main character, I would suppose. You would say he's Sammy Moore in
Precious.
This film, and he's just unbelievable, genuinely.
And
apparently,
is that him singing and playing? Is that like him in
okay,
those scenes?
It is.
Holy shit.
He is an actor and musician. So he came to he became known in 2017. There was a video of him singing Feeling Good that went viral and was sampled in the montage video for rapper Jay-Z's song 444. Okay. So in 2018, he appeared on the season 3 premiere of the NBC variety show Little Big Shots. And they singled him out as the one act the audience will never forget. He was popular enough to return for the Little Big Shots holiday special in December, where he performed Oh Holy Night. And then on Martin Luther King Jr. Day, he performed on The View alongside Yolanda Adams, singing her song Never Give Up in honor of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And then in 2022, he toured with Her, with HER, and attracted notice as a baritone background vocalist. He released his long-anticipated debut single, This Ain't It, featuring a clean
Damn.
vocal performance reminiscent of legends Stevie Wonder and Donny Hathaway. That was the mention. So that was what I was going to say. He's got this like incredibly clean tone to his voice
Yeah.
that didn't seem to me to really fit with the blues nature of the thing. I thought he did fine as Sammy, don't get me wrong, but I just kept thinking that his voice was honestly not, it's not Buddy Guy's voice, for instance.
No,
really, it's
no,
a
no,
different
no.
thing.
No, but I
right?
loved it. I thought that
I did too.
and
It's Donny
like,
Hathaway.
There's an edge to it that I didn't see coming out of him, and I was really blown away by his performance.
Okay, so the other one that I want to call out here for a second right away, because this is another like major figure in the film, and this is something that I did not get inherently. I got it subconsciously because I felt uncomfortable about this character, but I didn't get this. We got a great piece of feedback that I'm going to get to here. Saul Williams plays Sammy's father, Jedediah Moore, who is a pastor. Okay, so Saul Williams is an American rapper, singer, songwriter, musician, poet, writer, and actor. And he's been in a bunch of independent films. He was in the jukebox musical Holler If You Hear Me in 2013. He's a poet. He's all over the place. Yeah. Jedediah Moore here, his character, the pastor in this movie, we see in the opening scene, Sammy, bloody,
yeah,
disturbed, cut on his face,
up, beat the hell.
You just clearly having gone through hell, literally, and he stumbles into the church mid-service.
Busted guitar neck in his hand.
Yeah, just holding the neck of the guitar. His mother, we think it's his mother anyway, stands up and calls his name, and then she's ordered to sit down, and the pastor calls him forward, and we realize that that's his father. But as he approaches his father, we get two specific flashbacks to the horror of the night before, like instantaneous little quick things. Okay, this comes from well, it was in my feed. I love this. It was in my feed from another gay vampire. They had reposted it. But said Harriet is the person who had actually said this originally. They said, vampires exist in the church too. Sammy's dad used all the same tactics as Remick. He wanted his gift so he could access a portal to people's hearts and move the congregation. The flashbacks were not just mere flashbacks. Sammy saw the soul state of the people in the church as equal to those in the juke joint, torment. On the surface, they were clean, but underneath, they were in torment. False equivalence aside, exploitation is nuanced. One critique is, we will call it sin when we cannot profit from it.
Damn!
We will call it sin when we cannot profit from it. I think that might be our title for this episode.
My God, that is real.
I follow somebody on TikTok and Instagram that she takes a clip where somebody says something special and she like slaps her notebook. She's like, that's going in the notebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's going in the fucking notebook. We will call it sin when we cannot profit from it.
I mean, that's real. All the way around the world.
Right? Okay. Earlier, we were talking about the colonization aspect of this film and how, this one does it and this one does it in this way and this one does it in this way. And it's just like a series of colonizations. But even here, and I had felt it, I had felt uncomfortable about the pastor and the way that he approaches Sammy, even in the beginning of the film. But said Harriet, thank you so much for laying it out like that. Like, yeah, that's why he's just another leader of a group looking to co-opt Sammy for what he believes is a righteous mission.
Yes.
Like what it's Sammy just like
what
Remick.
Sammy is meant to do.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Okay. Which, by the way, let's speak about that. Let's speak about there's a little bit of magic in this movie in a few different areas, but let's talk about the magic of music. This idea, we hear the narration from the beginning that there is this concept of someone being so gifted with musicality in some fashion that they're able to access spirits from the past
Open a
and from the future.
portal. Yeah. Yeah.
But like, don't that ring true? Like, doesn't that feel the way that it is when
Yeah. Music's
when
incredible. It's an incredible, powerful thing.
I mean, when you sit in the pew and sing with the congregation, when you're in the concert, when you're in the club, like in those moments, I'd say all the time, there's no easier way to make me cry than to listen to human voices together in song
Yeah.
and harmony. Like, it doesn't have to be a serious song. You can play that fucking Coke commercial. I'd like to buy the world of Coke, and I'd like to teach the world to sing. And I get misty thinking about the harmony in that one, man. So like, yes, I love this concept. I love this idea, and it feels real.
They did such a beautiful job like depicting it too. Like,
yes,
an incredible. I was like, this is like a drug fueled vision. Like, I was like, did we do mushrooms and I forgot? Like, am I on drugs? Are we on drugs? You know,
it's funny you say that. Kelly and I both forgot to bring our gummies before we went to the movie theater, and I was cursing on the way in. I was like, damn it, we forgot the gummies.
The movie gave you a little taste of it.
It genuinely, Ashley, that scene where we're hinted at this in the beginning, and then we see it happen in the juke joint when Sammy lets loose and begins to play, and I mean, like Bootsy Collins shows up, you know, and it looks like Two Live Crews in the back or something, and fucking LL Cool J's there, but also like ancestral
First Nations peoples. You know, it is wild. It is wild.
The Chinese dancer that comes in at one point with the cymbals, like, anyway, this whole thing, but I've never seen it. It's not, again, I understand now why people said I needed to see this in the movie theater. That scene, for instance, you could feel it here, right? Like it, and even Kelly, which again, like the whole thing didn't hit for her. She was like, yeah, that scene was pretty amazing. And it's one of those things, like, you don't want to make a movie about a comedian, because then you have to have them tell jokes at some point, and your jokes have to be this amazing thing, right? You don't want to make a movie about a musician, because then the songs have to be really good. This song is really good and interesting and transcendent in a way that it seems to be from all times and places.
Like every bit of energy that's surrounding them is caught up in the song. Every bit of, like, it feels that way, and it felt that way in the theater too. Like, we were all caught up in it too, because it was all this very communal experience. He was able to create this really kind of engaging communal thing where you are almost a part of it too, which is so fucking hard to do, you know, especially when you have a moment where you're like, am I on drugs? Am I on drugs? But then I'm still like totally in the moment and into what's happening. It was really, really, that was incredible. Also, you get some foreshadowing too, because the fucking building just catches fire and is like burning down around them. Like, it's like the power of all of it. The building can't even hold it.
Yes. But also, like, when you realize later, I think it's after that scene that we get this, but the vampire tells us eventually what the plan is for this building. They're going to surround it and they're going to burn it down. Ashley, they were going to burn it full of black people was the plan. So like that, we were seeing into the future there when we saw the building burning down, except they circumvent that future through the events of this evening. Right. Anyway, like, just holy hell, man. What an accomplishment to shoot for that and then actually make it happen. Like, and even if he had just, even if he had just, watch it
and you're like, this is fucking stupid. Like, oh, look at this concept. Oh,
If he had just given us the visual of the Sugar Shack painting, right? That the famous painting, which is we see the bodies dancing.
Yeah.
He does that, and that alone, like, that was one of the few things I knew going into this movie, is that he at some moment he gives us the Sugar Shack painting in live action effectively. Just doing that would have been like, oh, what an artful moment.
Right.
But it's also shot like it's almost a oneer, where the camera's following everybody around through the party. It's not exactly a oneer, but it has that feel to it.
Yeah.
And he's doing this thing where he's bringing in future and past individuals who aren't really in the movie and who aren't there in actuality. Like, it's not like, don't be confused. Like, it's not confusing in the film. It's clear exactly what he's doing here.
Yeah.
He's just an X-Man that's got a fucking portal that he plays with. He's a bard, right? And he's brought inspiration from all of time and space here to this room to play to you, to inspire us all. Like, everybody's HP went up in that room is all I'm saying. Like, that's what happened there.
Big time, big time.
But Ashley, when you have that sort of power, it's not just his daddy, the preacher man, that's drawn to it. Remick, I think the reason why Remick crossed paths with those Choctaw at all is because he was coming for Sammy.
Yeah. Yeah, it does definitely seem that way, because and they have a scene later on where he's basically telling him that, you know, like, I want you, come here.
Yeah. It's such a cool idea, man. Such a cool idea. All right, let's talk about the other bit of magic in this film. And there's a lot of magic in this film if we're going to talk about actors, but I want to talk specifically about Wunmi Masaku. I'm probably doing that name a disservice. Nigerian British actress. Okay, so first of all,
I love her. I
did not recognize her from Loki in this film.
Yeah,
she's pretty in Loki, in her role in Loki, but like, y'all, this woman, I know it's Haley Steinfeld that spits in somebody's mouth later in this movie, but I want Wunmi to spit in my mouth probably, actually. Like, goodness gracious.
Man,
she's so fucking hot in this movie.
Yes, and she is like, she's a fucking badass witch, y'all.
Yes.
You know, like, she's a fucking legit witch. Yeah.
So she does ritual magic at one point. She's also done this mojo spell on Smoke specifically, that we see physically play out in the finale, basically, because as Stack tries to attack him, he is physically repelled by the mojo. Like, we see it happen. It's real. Also, she's the only one in the whole movie that knows what's going on. She knows from an early point in this film that there is something that we need to be aware of. And then as soon as she sees it play out in front of her, she goes, oh, this isn't just a haint, which we'll get to that word in a minute. These are vampires specifically.
Fucking vampires, yep. And she knew what to do with them, how to deal with them. She's like, garlic, steaks, they can't come in unless you invite them, fire and sun.
Okay, so I had only known of the word haint because of Haint Blue.
Haint Blue, the paint on the porches.
Right, on the porches, on the ceiling of your porch. Super common in the South, but especially in New Orleans and South Louisiana. You paint that the ceiling of your porch the specific color of blue, which is referred to as haint blue. It is a very bright blue. For one thing, it apparently does actually repel flies, but also it looks like the sky is the idea.
Like a light, bright blue. It's like it's a really pretty shade.
It's really pretty. It is, but it's specifically made to get rid of ghosts, of haunts.
Keep spirits out of your house.
The word haint comes from the word haunt, and that's what it means. It means spirits and ghosts and ghoulies. I like this, and I think it is very much tied into the philosophy or the theology or the panthology or whatever of Anne Rice's books, in that Haint is like a catch-all term, right? There
Yeah.
are, in fact,
Supernatural
some
shit.
ghosts. There are people who have died and been captured in our realm and remain here for one reason or another. There are also just spirits. And what are those spirits from? I don't know. They don't know either, actually. If you asked them, they're haunts. They're haints. They just remain. They are here for whatever reason, right? I was wrong, by the way. Apparently, I'm reading the Haint Blue article right now. I said it's from South Louisiana. It is very common in South Louisiana, but it apparently originated from the Gullah in Georgia and South Carolina. This
Well,
is
there
a
we go.
Gullah tradition, first and foremost. So the
I love
pigment
it.
was derived from crushed indigo plants. The indigo was a common source for Haint Blue prior to the American Revolution, when indigo was a common crop for plantations in the American South. But the
All right.
tradition survived well after the decline in indigo dye
Oh yeah,
cultivation.
it's
There you
very.
go.
I mean, like I drive down my street, and almost anybody that has a porch has their Haint Blue.
Like it's still a
It's
thing.
very
Anyway,
common in the South.
I was super excited to see that she referred to them as Haints, and like that's the idea there, and that's very accurate again for this time and for these people portrayed in this film. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some other magic that's in this movie. All three, I would say all three of our leading ladies, I think there are three primarily. You've got Haley Steinfeld, obviously, Wunmi Musaku, and James Lawson is the third. We'll get back to Haley in a minute, but I want to talk about James Lawson
There's
first.
also Grace. You can't forget Grace.
Good point. You're a very good point. I don't think about Grace because she wasn't one of the romantic leads, but Grace has her own romance that's
Grace
just played out in a very different way. Okay, so James Lawson has been in a bunch of stuff that you've probably seen as well. She was in The Batman. She was in The Woman King. She was in Farewell Amore. She's going to be in the new version of The Running Man. Ashley, I did not know.
Cool.
I knew it was coming soon, but yeah, that's pretty neat.
That's
so she plays
cool.
She plays Perline in this one. She's the love interest for Sammy, and again, man, like she's hot the first time we see her, but when she gets on stage, Ashley,
yeah, my God, like whoo, Lord, like, yeah.
First of all, that club is so fucking hot, and you can feel it, right? I've been in that room,
physically hot, hot and sweaty, and then also like these are also some of the hottest people you could shove into one wooden building.
It's a lot of them for sure.
And everybody's dancing and sweating and sexy. It's like drunk. It's quite a party.
Okay. I saw somebody on Threads say, Hollywood has been trying to force Haley Steinfeld on me for more than a decade now, and I finally understand why. Okay, fair enough. Sinners, thank you for making me understand this. She really is great. First of all, it is amazing to me to understand that she is 28 years old. She's only 28 years old. So I think I first discovered her in True Grit. Probably she plays the main character in True Grit alongside Jeff Bridges, but she's been in a bunch of stuff. She was in the Bumblebee movie. She was in Pitch Perfect 2. She did the Dickinson series. I know you don't dabble in Apple, Ashley, but she did the Dickinson series on Apple TV Plus, which is like 3 seasons long. It's really good. She plays Emily Dickinson.
I've heard that that's really good, actually.
It's great.
And
she's really good
in
it. Very much lesbian. She was in the Arcane series on Netflix. She voiced one of the characters in Arcane.
Hawkeye. I loved Hawkeye.
That's where I was
getting shame in my fucking game about my love for Hawkeye.
Everybody knows her from the Hawkeye TV series, which again, like if you haven't seen that one, great watch for the holiday season. Like watch it around Christmas time. It's really, really good. I did not know that Haley Steinfeld was of mixed race.
I didn't
until
either.
This movie. I saw that she was in it, and I saw some discussion online before we had gone to see it that her character was mixed, and I was like, well, that's interesting. It turns out she has the exact same racial background basically that her character does. Her grandfather was an African-American man. So
I had no idea.
Yeah, Haley Steinfeld is herself mixed, but this goes back to that concept that we were talking about a couple of weeks ago with Merrick, and we talked about it with
and it's a part of her story, you know, her character's story about her family.
It is. She's passing currently as a white woman.
Yeah.
She's married to a nice white man.
Living
she got a
in
nice
Little Rock.
house, the whole 9 yards. Yeah. And yet she's hung up on this man. And it's interesting to me that Stack is actually trying to help her. He's like,
yeah,
but I'm no good for you, sweetheart. You know, like holding her at arm's distance and kind of, I've joked in the past about how I tried to Grover Kelly one time, near, far. Well, that's what Stack did basically. Like he ran away to try to help Haley's character in this, you know,
Mary.
Yeah. Sorry. I couldn't think of her name real quick. I love though, that I love that there wasn't really a twist for Mary as far as like her own character. Like she's not, there is no nefariousness for her.
No. She's there. She's there because her mama died. She's there for her mama's funeral. And then these two assholes show up in town and she's like, oh, I got a bone to pick with you, son of a bitch.
But I think even in the end, really, it wasn't even that much of a bone to pick. She really kind of wanted to see
him.
She wanted to see, first of all, if she could talk him out of it and could get back with her man, I think a little bit, but also yes, to show her, hey, I'm doing fine without you. And also at the end, she's family and she was coming to support her people, right? Like she had some money to spend and she was coming to spend it at the juke joint. Anyway, I love her character in this. I love her character in this. And when she falls prey to Remick and his group, it's like, it's all the more tragic. And you know, immediately, well, now it's not a question of if it's going to like come to a head. It's when, how quickly is this going to come to a head?
Yeah, absolutely.
Boy. I want to talk for a minute because we haven't mentioned him so far. Delroy Lindo.
Oh my God. I love him. Could he be in everything?
So I think the first time that I remember Delroy really was probably in Get Shorty. He's so good in that movie, man. He's in Malcolm X. He's in Da 5 Bloods.
Oh my God.
He was in The Core, The Harder They Fall. He was in the This Is Us TV show. I mean, he's been in a bajillion things, but he's so good as Delta Slim in this. He's our harmonica player and piano player once they get to the juke joint, but the older blues man who's kind of taking Sammy under his wing and getting this show going. He's so good in this movie.
Yeah, he is fantastic in this. I love him. So I gotta say that there was one actor in this movie that I spent the entirety of the movie trying to figure out where the fuck I knew them from. And that was Omar Benson Miller, who played Cornbread. And I was like, there's Cornbread. This is driving me fucking crazy. He's in a couple of episodes of West Wing.
He is. He absolutely is.
The big football player that stole the goat.
He is also in 8 Mile. He's one of Eminem's buddies in 8 Mile.
Oh, look, it was 100% West Wing that I was like, I'm seeing him as like a young man and he's like shaking people's hands or like helping somebody up. I was like, what the fuck is it? He runs right into Josh Lyman in the hallway and like knocks him across the room. It's so funny.
Omar Benson Miller is his name that plays Cornbread. Really great role there as well. First of all, just a giant of a man.
Yeah.
Which again feels like Chekhov's gun in a vampire movie. I'm like, what happens when the giant turns into a vampire? It's going to be a problem, isn't it?
It's never good, y'all. It's never good.
Yeah.
Well, and I love the way that that was a really fucking funny part of the movie too. They're like, when he's been turned and he's like, you guys should let me come in there and I just need to come in there and do some stuff. And they're like, dude, you've been coming in and out of this building all fucking night. Like, what's the problem now? Suddenly you need permission. Suddenly you need an invitation. That seems shady as hell.
It's like the moment later when they do the garlic test with everybody and who is it? Is it Pearline that's like, I don't like the taste of garlic. And they're like, bitch, Doesn't matter. You better be chewing on
You
that
better
garlic.
eat that garlic, or your ass is going outside. Eat
And
the
then
garlic.
that's when Delta Slim like has the bad
Chokes.
reaction to it too,
Yeah,
and you're
chokes
like,
on it.
it's a bad moment for you, Delta. I'm sorry,
It
but
felt,
we're gonna.
that felt very that whole section felt very we were just talking about it. The Thing
From Dusk Till Dawn. Oh
no,
yes,
it
the
reminded me of
thing
The Thing
when
the
they're
part
doing
where
the
blood,
electric. Yes. Yeah, why do we even have to do this test? Shut up and give me your blood.
Yeah.
No, it made me think of the moment in From Dusk Till Dawn when Sex Machine turns suddenly.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's what it reminded me of, because he's choking there and I'm like, oh, is Delta Slim going to turn on him?
It's a Sex Machine.
It is interesting that even in this movie that's got so much to say about so many different topics, serious topics, that there are so many moments of levity and like they're able to play all of that. Like there's anticipation in a fun way as well as a building thriller way.
It is scary. Like the stakes are very high in this very quickly, and I was very stressed out for most of this movie.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's talk for just a second about the nature of Remick and what he is trying to do here. So the first time that we see Remick, he's being chased by the Choctaw. The sun is coming up.
Yeah,
which first
burned.
of all, the fact that he's running from them during the daytime tells you what a serious situation he must have been in with them, right?
Yeah.
And he's desperate to get away. He gets into this house, but okay, so he's looking for shelter anywhere, and I think he would have taken it, period, if he could get it. But he notices the hood. He notices that this is a Klan house. And I don't know, maybe I'm reading into something more than there is. I thought he thought, yeah, I'm gonna fuck these two honkies up. I got the idea that for him, this Irish man, he in his heart is fighting the good fight even now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill those fascist fucking bastards if I can.
Yeah.
And he also knows the way vampirism works in this film is that it's a sharing of the mind and memories in a way that these two fascists, these two fucking racists are immediately going to understand that we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
So it won't even matter 30 seconds from now.
Like it's like going to fix them. It's going to fix what's broken in them.
Right.
You know,
okay.
So
Ashley, I don't know about you. I, as the evangelicals would say, felt very convicted as a white liberal by this storyline with Remick. Remick is selling Kumbaya. He literally plays fucking folk music. Him and his little trio out there as they all
and they sing
dance
in harmony. All
Black,
of a sudden, everyone
red,
knows
brown.
the same fucking songs.
Everyone knows the same songs. Everyone dances to the same tunes. I think to myself about the persecution, honestly, on both sides of the liberal spectrum over the question of how virulently are you against the Israeli state, for instance, right? And if you're too pro-Palestinian, then you can't be in our party. And if you're too Jewish, you can't be in our party. But if you're too pro-Jewish, you can't be in our party. But if you're too but you know what I mean? Like there's all these purity tests. And everybody has to toe the line, and we all have to conform, and et cetera, et cetera.
It's a lack of acceptance that things are gray and not
my way is what I am bringing to you, and my way is right, and don't even worry, you're going to adopt it and love it. And I just, again, like maybe I'm overreading into this, and maybe I'm putting something there that's not there, but I think there's a little bit of that there. Remick's intentions are good. Like we've talked about this before, Father Paul Monsignor in Midnight Mass.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming back to do what he believes to be is a good thing for his town and his people. Right. Remick believes he's going to free these poor black folks. All they need is a little vampire blood and everything will be good. They'll be back on top of things. Don't even worry about it.
Or on top of things for the very first time. What would that be like?
But first of all, they won't be on top of him, will they?
Well, no.
He'll still be in charge, won't he? Probably, because he's in charge of them two honkies he brought with him, for instance. Anyway, maybe that's just me. I don't know if you felt that at all, but I very much saw in Remick this let me come, and like, obviously there were a lot of white allies that were involved in the civil rights movement and did the right, and did their part to be a shield and to be an ally. But I think very often we can sort of stand near the fight and pat ourselves on the back until we get bruised, and say, like, look at our battle scars from the hard fought civil rights battle.
Well, there is something to be said too for a white savior complex, like, oh God, we've done fucked up for centuries. Maybe we should do the saving of people. Instead, we should probably just shut up and let other people sit at the table and be in charge for a while.
I mean, it's just, sometimes you can lead from behind, and offer your resources and your ear more than your voice. I don't know. Anyway,
and your vampire fucking blood.
Yeah, and your vampire blood, dude. The nefarious nature of these vampires is insidious and interesting. And
well, what's interesting is once they start
I dig it.
Once they start turning our people, there's still something of them left in them.
100%. That when Mary comes back in, she's not Mary.
No, she's still fucking Mary. And then later, when he stakes Annie, when he has to stake Annie, like, Mary has to fucking leave. She's like, you ruined it. You killed her. She was gonna be with us. She's family. You fucking killed my family. Like, is so, like, fucking broken by it. She has to leave,
Yeah.
And then so it's interesting when it's coming down to, like, someone you love that also knows ways to, like, manipulate you and maybe is even doing it out of goodness or what they think is the right thing, but it's still just complete fuckery. But it takes the intensity up to such a higher level because it's your fucking friends eating you.
It's like, and I think honestly, maybe this is why the scene with the Klansmen at the end is actually important to the movie, because it's like, there are layers to evil and there are layers to insidiousness, right? Like, you can be evilly intentioned and you can do evil with good intentions, and both can be true.
I think once you know that people like that in your town where your friends and family live have made a plan like that, that shit can't slide. No. You are not ever safe there. Your family is never safe there. Your friends are never safe there. No. Fuck that. That had to happen. I needed that to happen.
It's
the part about saving
so
the
cathartic.
town.
It's so cathartic.
It's like this piece of and part of fucking beating these vampires is trying to save the town and the people. That's part of fucking destroying that clan too,
There are two quotes that I wrote down during watching this film in the theater, and I want to make sure I mention both of them. First of all, very specifically about sort of not the Klan moment, but the moment right before the real battle begins in the mill. Someone, and now I can't remember who it was, is a little hesitant in the moment. They're like, well, what are you talking about? What are we going to do? And I think it's Annie that lays it out. And she's like, we shot her and she got up and walked away.
Yeah.
There's Cornbread's outside and he's already been turned, et cetera, like lays out several things that have happened. And she's like, if now ain't go time, I don't know what is.
Yeah.
Like, what are we waiting for? Okay. I pulled out that quote and I pulled out the quote because I thought it was a good quote. But as we talked earlier about like, hey, why do y'all talk about politics so much now when y'all didn't ever mention it before? Yeah, the president denied. He's just ignoring an order from the Supreme Court. If now ain't go time, I don't know what it is.
Right.
Like, so like it's time.
Be inspired.
Yeah, be inspired and step into the moment. Don't be like being weak-willed and inactive and indecisive in a moment of action like that helps no one.
Yeah,
you will end up dead in the crossfire anyway, friend.
You're gonna get turned into a fucking vampire. That's what's gonna happen.
Ain't it the true? Ain't it the true? Okay, and the other quote is this. Sammy is in the car talking to Stack when they're going out riding into the country to make their deal, and Sammy plays and sings for the first time, and Stack really, he's like, woo! I love that moment when Stack realizes what he's got on his hands here.
He's like,
in his cousin.
You've gotten real good at that guitar, son.
But Sammy says something about, oh, what it must be like to live in Chicago. And Stack says, Chicago ain't shit, but Mississippi with tall buildings instead of plantations.
Yep. Yep. Shit's the same wherever you go.
I mean, listen, very specifically, the issues of racism are ever present all over. The Brits handle racism in a different way than Southerners do in America. Northerners handle racism. My grandmother used to always say there's Northern racism and there's Southern racism. Southern racism is we will be together in public spaces, but also white people will say the N-word, right, in their homes. In the North, they would never say the N-word and they would never consider themselves racist. But black and white people literally won't be together in public space. You have whole towns where there are no African Americans, or even now no Hispanics or Latinos, et cetera, et cetera. So like, yeah, man, there's a Northern racism and a Southern racism, but there's a racism all over.
Yeah, it's real.
Chicago ain't shit, but Mississippi with tall buildings instead of plantations.
Love it.
Okay, so on that point real quick, Michael B. Jordan got asked in some of the press coverage about, hey, would you want to come back and do something else with this? And he specifically said, I'll be up for it. And it's up to Coogler. And Coogler said, nothing's up to me. It's not my, blah, blah, blah. They both sort of like played it off. But I think it's possible that we could see, and this would not be a vampire story, theoretically, at least, like,
right.
give us what happened in Chicago. How did they end up with all this Italian wine and Irish beer and all this money?
A sack of money. Yeah.
Absolutely. What happened in Chicago?
Well, we know they're not like, that's the thing. Left. These aren't like good guys. Like these guys are trouble. Like they're beloved, but they're trouble. Like you're going to get into some shit when you're hanging out with these guys. Like,
yes.
Yeah,
it's very much going to get in some shit.
It's a tick mark on your personal victimology when you're running with guys like that. Just saying.
I love a transforming master vampire, and the fact that Remick gets a little crazier looking and a little crazier looking,
little fingers,
and then finally has those giant claws by the end of the thing when he's holding Smoke in his hands.
Oh yeah,
or Sammy. Yeah, he's got Sammy in his hands there at the very end of the thing. It's such cool stuff, man. And we saw. So we didn't really see transforming like that in Midnight Mass, in that the master vampire always looks like that, and the other people are just people mostly. But like, I do like the idea that the masquerade falls away as things get closer to an end game, right? Like Remick presents a certain face and they dance and sing together with their instantly known folk songs. The only thing
creepy is your multiple fangs and your shiny eyes. Like everything is kind of okay,
Let's talk about the fact that Stack gets a gold fang when he turns. Did you notice it? His gold tooth is fanged.
I did notice that. I laughed my ass off. I thought it was hilarious. Yup.
Okay, so our resolution is our good guys do win, but just the ultimate sacrifice. Annie is lost pretty early on.
Yep.
You know, they've had to kill Cornbread. They've Delta Slim dies, you know, which one by one people are getting knocked off. We didn't mention her yet. Let's talk about her for a minute. You mentioned her in passing. Lee Jun Lee is Grace
Yes.
Chow.
I fucking love Grace.
Grace is so good in this movie. She's got much more to do. I want to look up his name too so that I don't forget it here.
Her husband?
Where is the full cast? Show me the IMDb.
Her husband is played by Yao.
Yes, Yao plays Bo Chow, and then Helena Hugh plays Lisa Chow, their daughter. But
Cutie.
Bo's got a much smaller role. Bo's an interesting character too, and it's like their relationship is so good.
Yeah,
and it's really nice to see on screen, right? It's like,
and they're like, you can tell they've done business with these boys before. Like, this is fine. This is what we do. You know, of course we're in. You know, they're scrappy and fucking fun.
For a good time, up to put a little cash away, hard workers.
Yeah.
But you and I have talked about it so many times about our own spouses, but like clearly just in love with their partner, right? Like genuinely like life with this person and are making the best of it, even in this small town Mississippi where surely it can't be easy for these two people.
They've got to be the only 3 Chinese people there.
Right. Them and their daughter, the only ones around, and the only ones that most people in this town have ever even met or seen.
Right.
You know, but doing it anyway and happily, right? Like Grace especially seems like she's thriving in this environment. She's having a good time. Honestly.
Yeah. And they're excited. This is going to be a really fun night. And you see them have interactions throughout the evening and everything, but he leaves to go get the car.
Yes.
Shit's gotten a little squirrely.
It's a little too, it's too late by the time they make this decision, and we all know it. But when he strolls back up the first time and he's just like leaning, he's like, come on, babe, come on out to the car.
Dude, you are too casual.
Somebody's getting eaten like right next to him. I think Cornbread's eating somebody and he's not reacting to it at all.
No, too casual.
But I will say this, in the end, it is Grace's fault that shit went awry because she's the one that invited them all in. She said, come and get us.
I don't think she was wrong.
I mean, a lot of people died there all of a sudden.
Look, listen, I think that shit was going to happen somehow anyway. Like, I'm sorry. That was inevitable. And they threatened her daughter. Go fuck yourself, dude.
I don't think they were headed back to town. I think they wanted to eat all these black people first. I really did.
They had eaten most of them, Joel. Now
they had eaten a lot of them. You're right. There was a big crowd out there already at that point dancing and singing.
There was only 5 people left inside the fucking building.
When they get to Irish jigging outside, Ashley, I was like, oh man.
No, First of all,
a little bit of Pied Piper in that moment too, don't you think too? Right?
So
like
gross,
I was like,
creepy.
Oh shit. I forgot. Actually, this is all one story, right? Kind of did make me think like if vampires are never really explained at all in this world, like where do they come from exactly? They're old style magic vampires, you know, like they're garlic and sunlight and have to be invited in like the Fae. Anyway, you show me Irish and they have to be invited in, I'm always like, are the vampires just Fae actually?
Skeptical.
Are they Fae in this world?
I'm skeptical.
Okay. I love though, we get down to our last little bit and Sammy and Smoke are gonna make it out of this thing. Finally, as the sun begins to come up.
Hallelujah,
and fries
here comes
everybody.
The fucking sun.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay, all right. Also, there's a really good moment there that I did not expect, but we see early in the movie, you mentioned it, the broken guitar that Sammy's carrying. He's just got the head of the guitar, the handle, the neck, I should say. What happens to that guitar? He smashes it right into that fucking vampire's head, and the silver part of the
stuck into his
body stuck into his skull like a blade. I love that moment. He like pulls it out and he's smoking, his head smoking, you know.
So great.
All of that's really, really good stuff. The moment that I specifically want to talk about here, though, and I mentioned it earlier again, is the moment when Sammy thinks he's dead and he begins to say the Lord's Prayer. Again, the way that Remick addresses that, first of all, he just says it with him. And all the vampires begin to say it together at the same time, too.
Listen, I'm not a fan of that shit.
But okay, I should have known in that moment that they were drawing the parallel between the Christian church or this church, especially that Sammy's dad preaches at, and Remick's vampire cult, but again, just the language that he uses there, the way that he addresses it to Sammy, the men who stole the land from my father forced those words upon me. I always hated the men, but I always found comfort in the words. And like, how true is that to so many of us of religion generally? Like, religion does trauma to us in different ways, and the church and the people in it do trauma to us in different ways. Fundamental person breaking trauma. And yet we still find comfort in the words. Y'all, I like to go to midnight mass. Still. I don't know.
That's a hard no thank you from me. No thank you.
I only like to do it like once a year, once every couple of years, but like I like to go at Christmas. I like to go at Christmas to midnight mass. Some
people say that kind of thing about cocaine too.
It is interesting, though, the way that this movie lays them both out together for us, and the way it ties such a neat little bow on the whole thing. Sammy ends up back at the church, and we finally see what he's doing there. But what is his dad asking him to do? Put down the guitar. Yeah. Put down the guitar. But honestly, he doesn't really want him to put down the guitar, as we see in the final.
No, he wants him to use the fucking guitar.
Use that guitar for me, boy. Mm-hmm. What did we say at the beginning? We will call it sin when we cannot profit from it.
Ding, ding, ding.
That is a word. Okay, quickly, let's talk about the other post-credit scene, or the mid-credit scene. So we meet Buddy Guy, grown-up Sammy, made it out of this whole thing. It became a famous musician, lots of albums.
Has a club, the Club Perline, named after.
I didn't even notice. Named after his woman that he lost. Yeah. That's fabulous. I love that. And in stroll very 92 looking motherfuckers, Haley Steinfeld and Michael B. Jordan as Mary and Stack. The fucking sweater on
wearing
Michael B.
a fucking Cosby sweater. It's the fucking
Cosby sweater.
I was dying. I was absolutely dying at the Cosby sweater. I was like, I'm pretty sure my father owned that exact sweater.
Okay. First of all, this scene did not play out at all like I thought it was going to.
I was very nervous for Sammy. I was very, very nervous. I was like, are they coming in here to kill him? Or are they coming in here to turn him into a vampire now? He's so fucking old.
I was never nervous for Sammy. I thought Sammy was going to kill them in that scene. I thought his guitar has the silver piece in the middle again on it.
I see.
When the scene first becomes tense at all, we see the bartender recognize the situation, and I did not realize it, but Kelly pointed out he saw the fangs. He saw Michael B. Jordan's fangs, and that's when he like dips out of the scene.
Goodbye.
But the way that read for me, Ashley, was that the bartender's seen this play out before. This ain't the first vampire that's come to see Sammy. That was the way that I read it. And so I was like, Sammy's about to fuck these two vampires up. They've waited 80 years for retribution, and they're about to get it here. Or not 80, but like whatever, 60 something at that point.
Yeah.
I love it, though, that they just came to tell him they were big fans, honestly.
Yeah. They were just, and like checking in, like just a little check-in. We can have a little check-in.
Stack offers him the blood, right? He says, do you want it?
Yeah.
I promised I wouldn't harm you, but do you want it now?
Yeah.
You lived a great life. You could still go on doing what you do. You want to? No, I don't want to. Thank you. and they kind of dap it up and say goodbye.
Yeah,
And Mary
yeah.
says like, bye, little Sammy. I love it. I love
yeah.
it.
Yeah, it
I
was
loved
fantastic.
it. Yeah. What a badass movie. It's
Yeah.
fun.
Y'all, this episode's going to be damn near 2 hours long because of
Yeah, sorry.
how much we liked it.
But well, and also there's a technical issue, so I'm hoping I'll be able to trim a bunch out in the middle. But like, it's fun, it's good action, it's got so much to say to us.
Yeah,
it's like very important, I think, in this moment specifically. Anyway, kudos, Ryan Coogler.
Like, please go see a movie with a bunch of people in it that don't look like you.
Yes, very true.
You know,
or
like,
go see a movie that's full of people that look just like you. In fact, in this case,
yeah,
if you don't get to do it very often.
So like on both sides of it, we all need to get out and watch this fucking great film.
I did not realize that Ryan had written this as well. I knew that he was a writer. I thought he had collaborated, but he's the sole writing credit in IMDb on this.
Yeah.
Just badass movie, man. Badass project. Michael B. Jordan's amazing in it. The whole cast top to bottom is good. Yeah. If for some reason you've listened to us all the way, but you still have held out, like, go see it. If you have watched it, but you are hearing things that you didn't see, go see it again. Go ahead and order it. You can pre-order it on digital right now. I don't think it's available to watch early, but like, this is one that I think we're probably going to talk about again in a future episode. It's that kind of good movie, genuinely.
It's definitely one that is, as soon as I can own it, I'll own it, and it will go into my spooky movie rotation.
Yeah. Just the right kind of spooky movie for us, folks. Mm-hmm. Thanks to everybody who urged us to watch it. Really good job. We're into it. Next week, we're back to Merrick. We're going to be wrapping up the Merrick Book Club.
Finish your book.
Yeah, and then we got Nosferatu after that, at which point we're headed straight into the 100th episode live stream. We'll be doing that on May 24th in the evening, our time. Information's all in the show notes for that, as well as information on the block of rooms for the Sheraton in New Orleans on Canal, for Anne Rice's Celebration of Life on November 1st. That weekend, we're going to be down there. We're going to try to do a live event ourselves and do a live recording and hang out with you all. Depending upon how many of us are in town, we might try to do some tours and other stuff. But first things first, get your room locked down. Respond to our poll if you haven't already, saying that you're coming to New Orleans or not. And then what else is in the show notes? Oh, yeah. You can sign up as a patron and get first notification for all those sorts of things, including the patrons will be the first ones that will have access to come to that live recording. So articulatecoven.com/join, $2 or more a month gets access to everything we do early and ad free.
Oh, tickets for the Memnock Ball went on sale tonight.
Yes, we talked about the ball was probably coming. There was going to be one. It went on sale tonight as we're recording this. That's interesting.
Yep. I think they went on sale at 8 Eastern time.
There you go. Okay, so if you're interested in the Memnock Vampire Ball, you probably are too late to get tickets. By the time you're listening to this, I don't know. Go and try and see about that. If you were down for the ball, you probably were watching just like we were earlier in the week, so you're probably already there. Anyway, y'all, all of the things are coming together and they're closer than you might imagine because this summer is going to fly by. I promise you. So. Also, I'll just say, if you are a patron or if you're thinking about becoming one, now that we get past that 100th episode live stream, we've got a little while before Talamasca. So, like, what are we going to do next? You'll get to help us decide. There's something coming. When is it? Is it in July, the countdown that's going on right now for Talamasca?
Oh,
I think it's a trailer, not the actual show, but there's a countdown if you go to talamasca.com.
Oh, that's right.
And it's happening sometime in early July, I think is what the countdown is for. It's like 50 something days or 60 days currently. But anyway, my guess is that's a trailer and an announcement for the release date, not the actual show. We haven't gotten enough hard promotion of that show for them to launch it in July, I would say.
I don't think
also, you don't have another Immortal Universe show to run for the spooky season. So this show is going to launch in September or October. That's my guess. It'll either launch in like late September and run through October, or to launch in early October and run into November. But that's what we're going to get for Talamasca is my guess. So in July, we'll get a trailer. We'll talk about it then. Until the next time we come back. You got anything else to add, Ashley?
I don't. I really do not.
All right. Again, thank you for Sinners because, damn, good movie. I like good movies.
And I'm glad I saw it in the theater too. I'm glad I didn't wait.
Me too. I didn't get to go see it in IMAX.
Worst. I didn't either.
But I can
But they're
see why
re-releasing
people
it in
wanted to.
IMAX.
Yes,
they're
it's going to go
extending
back.
the IMAX run. So I saw that because that movie's making some fucking money and good.
And I mean, good for him. Good for him. It's like he's got a piece of $1 gross, which is like Ryan Coogler got paid last weekend when all of us went to see this movie. So good for him.
And I love that.
All right. Until the next time we talk to you, we have been your hosts. I am Joel.
I'm Ashley.
And we are the Articulate Coven. Thanks for listening to The Articulate Coven. If you enjoyed the show, check out our groups on Facebook and Discord. Subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Or find us at articulatecoven.com and wherever you listen to podcasts.